Hey guys, what's going on? This is the Scarlight Squad out to bring you a deck profile. Today I have some Fluffals and Frightfurs to show off to you guys. I played this deck a long time ago. I mean, as you can see, I still do. But, during that time, I went to locals with these a couple times, did fairly well, topped a few times. And this is the build that I want to show off that I was playing with. I would show you guys stuff that has like Fusion and Forcer support. I'm just unable to get that stuff right now. But, pretty much this deck profile is just going to be pre-Fusion Forcers, I guess. And like most profiles, it starts off with 3 Doge. Doge is the best Fluffal. He essentially searches you a Fluffal or an Edge Sovereigns directly from your deck to your hand whenever you normal special him from the hand. He's essentially the Stratos. He's the best guy. He's the MVP, really. Most likely, the one you'll search with Dog will be Bear. Bear really is the one that gets off your combo pieces. Not only can you tribute it to get back a poly from the grave to your hand, but you send it from your hand to the graveyard to set a toy vendor directly from your deck, and we'll get into that and why that's so good later. Something you like ditching off toy vendor, and kind of the only Fluffal non-animal I guess you play is Wings. Play 3 of that. Wings is kind of the real MVP I like to think Dog is, but what you do with Wings is, as long as it's engraved and you have Toy Vendor on the field, you can banish it and a Frightfurs cost. You can send the Toy Vendor to draw one, and if you do all that, you get to draw again, and then you get Toy Vendor Search. So essentially, you have some free advantage you can get. It's a really nice card, and it's a light target, so you can play with Brilliant Fusion. On top of that, we play 2 Owl. Owl is just your standard normal special, and search for a poly. But what's great about Owl is you're out to Nap Beast, because what a lot of people do with this deck is they'll make Nature Beast and pass, and then when it's your turn you can't do anything, because you just have dead polys, because Nap Beast will negate them. So you just use Owl, pay 500, and then you can Fusion, and then hopefully get out of that Nap Beast lock. I go back and forth between Fluffal Cat and Fluffal Rabbit. It's really hard to choose between which one. Cat, when it's used as a fusion material, you can recycle poly back. And then if you play Rabbit, I just have one lying around. You get back a Fluffal or Edge Sovereigns. So both of them recycle. I just like Cat better. I also just play 1 Sheep. Sheep is actually really good. It's really fun too. I wish you could play more if he's just kind of dead when you have more. But you can search it, so that's why you only need 1. But essentially what you do is if you have a Fluffal, you can special it to the field, and then you can bounce another Fluffal to bring out Edge from hand to grave. So really good at maintaining like board presence, and just manipulation of the graveyard can be really fun and trolly. As well as it like puts Dog or Owl back in your hand, so you can reuse their effects. That does it for the Fluffals. Onto the Edgems now. We play 3 Chain. Chain's the best one. I don't care what anybody says. I mean, if you guys really ask me, I think Saul's the best. JK though. No. Chain's really good. Whenever it declares an attack, you can search itself, which is very rare. I don't think there's any other card that does that. But what you mainly use it with is when it's sent from the hand, or from your hand or field to the graveyard. You can search any Frightfur cards. Typically, you'll search Frightfur Fusion with it, and you have some other targets which I'll show off later, which you can search. But Chain's really good also. If you can't ditch Wings off a Toy Vendor, you can ditch Chain, and then Chain will get you the search. And it makes Sheep, which you guys will see in a bit, and Sheep's kind of like the best Frightfur, so yeah. And then just 2 Sabres. Sabres you can just put back on the field by putting a card from your hand on top of your deck, and it'll come out of defense. Other than that, that's really only its effect is. But Sabres is just good at 2, because you can search it, and it's just a general good fusion target, so all you need is 2. And then 2 King of the Swamp. This is just another way to search out your polys, and it can just act as fusion material for one of the other Frightfurs, whatever you really fusion on summon into, so it's not that bad either. And then just 1 Garnet, just for your brilliant fusion plays, which you guys will see in a bit. That does it for the Fluffals and Jedgemps and all the monsters, basically, on spells. Play 3 Toy Vendor. Toy Vendor is kind of what makes the deck roll. You discard a card, and then reel the top card of your deck. If it's a Fluffal, you add it to your hand, and then you can special summon any Fluffal, or I'm sorry, any monster from your hand. And I think that's really broken in a way, because you can special summon literally any monster. But we use it for its main effect, where as long as it goes to the graveyard, you can search any Fluffal or an Edgem Sabers directly from your deck to your hand. That's really what's good about it, and it's continuous, so you can do it over and over as much as you please. Sometimes we use the discard one to draw one effect, especially if you have a chain or wings in hand. Sometimes we don't. We also play just 3 polys. Those are absolutely crucial for the deck. If you don't have them, you lose. As well as the 3 Frightfur fusions, which essentially is a miracle fusion for Fluffals. I would possibly consider cutting down, maybe even poly, but you can cut down Frightfur fusion. Playing 3 is kind of dead, especially if you draw all 3 in one turn. Had that happen, it's not fun. But yeah, just play 3 because you need 3. 2 is probably the best now, you know that I'm talking about it more and more. But it's just a really good card to have when in need, especially if you top deck at late game. So that's why I play 3. 2, Instant Fusion. We use Instant Fusion for Frightfur Sheep, just to help extend your plays. And we also play it just so you can get out Sabretooth. It's just really good for board advantage. And then for that Gemini Garnet, we obviously play the 2 Brilliant Fusions. And then 1 Frightfur Factory. This card, I really wish I could play more of it. It's kind of just a tech card in a way. You can play 3 of it, you can play 2. This card's fairly good because once per turn you can banish a fusion card or a poly from your graveyard. So not only can you banish poly, but you can banish a Brilliant Fusion, you can banish Instant Fusion, or you could banish obviously your Frightfur Fusion. But you can banish any fusion card, which I find really awesome. Or like the poly, of course, and then it'll act as a poly. So it's a once per turn poly as long as you can maintain that by banishing a fusion card, and you have, you know, of course, targets. And you can use it from hand or field to fusion someone, which is not good. And then on top of that, if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can get a banished Frightfur Fusion added back to your hand. So pretty good there too. And then to get back some of your banished Fluffals and Frightfurs, because you will banish them to pretty much win. It's kind of one of the deck's win conditions. Is 2 of these pots. You target 3 of your banished monsters, put them all back in your deck, and draw a card. So why not play it? It's quick play too, so you can even mess with your opponent on their turn. 1 Twin Twister is all we play. You could possibly take it out for an MST, or play more of Twin Twisters. It really depends on how I personally feel when I'm playing. Sometimes I like the Twin Twisters. Sometimes I don't play them at all. We play 1 Upstart, just because that extra draw can really help us out. And as for the trap card, I play 1. This is my main tech card, Frightfur March. Not only can you search this card, but it's a counter trap, so it really beats anything your opponent will try to do to get around it. And its effect is that when a spell or trap or monster effect targets a Frightfur, you can negate it, and you can destroy it, and then you can essentially fusion summon a Frightfur from your extra deck that's level 8 or higher. So if they target your sheep, which is usually the problem you want, the problem monster you'll have on board, they'll try to get rid of it like a Castell. You can activate this, send sheep, bring out Sabretooth, and then you'll get sheep back because it is treated as a fusion summon. The only downside is during your next end phase, the monster gets banished. So if you plan on doing something fast, I'll typically take this out for another Twister if I need more back row removal, like when facing Paleozoics. But 1 March is not too bad. I really enjoy the card. It's just a fun card to play. That does it for the main deck. As for the extra deck, we just play 1 Leo. Leo is essentially a Volcasaurus. We just play it because you can make it with King of the Swamp. It's okay overall, but the other Frightfurs are better. 2 Sabretooth. Sabretooth is kind of like the best fusion to go into, really. It'll gain attack, I think 400 for every Frightfur you control. And when it's fusion summoned, its primary effect is that you can bring out a Frightfur monster in your graveyard. And then what's awesome is if you use 3 materials to make this, it's immune to battle or card effects. So it's really good to bring it out and then bring out sheep and then just sit there and watch your opponent cry. And then obviously if you have the set Frightfur March, even better. I only have 1 Tiger. Obviously, I would play 3 if I had 2 more. I would play 3. Yeah, here we go. 3 Tiger. Tiger, whenever it's summoned, you get to pop a crap load of cards, depending on the number of fusion materials you use with it. That does target, unfortunately. But the only downside with Tigers, you can only control 1, which goes into some other rank 6 place. Definitely play 3. Having 2 is okay, but sometimes 3 is fun, and you know you can make it easily. So why not? We play 2 sheep. Sheep's really what I wish you could play at 3. Sheep is not only in its Armatis, but if it's destroyed by your opponent, it comes back and it'll gain 800 attack. So that's pretty good there. That's what we use for our instant fusion. The only downside is it takes chain, so can't always make it. But Frightfur Wolf, I guess you could call him the OG besides Bear of the Frightfurs. You use sabers to make him out, and then he can just poke your opponent a number of times for each material you use to make him. So essentially, you can attack twice for 4k damage. So if you use multiple materials, you can just, poke, poke, and poke. If we don't have enough damage to abuse and to inflict your opponent with sabers and tiger, we will make some of our Xyzes, such as Bouncer, which I'll get into in just a sec. But typically, what we do is we poly for tiger, pop a bunch of stuff, and then fight for fusion into wolf, and then just poke for game. And then if you can't, just slap him on for Bouncer. Bouncer just negates monster effects on the field, and it'll burn your opponent for 1,000, which is not bad. And of course, the Saphir Knight. Never want to forget her. That's really, you need that. You need that for Brilliant Fusion. The only other Xyz we play is Dante. I think I made this once in my entire life playing this deck. You can make it with King of Swamp, Bear, and Sabers. I believe that's all you can believe. I believe to make it. But yeah, just slap them on with 2 level 3s, and then you can mill stuff. So hopefully you mill a Toy Vendor or Wings, because then you get some free advantage off that. There's a few other cards you can play in your deck, but of course, we have to play the Scarlight, even though you can't make it. Anyway, guys, that's going to about do it. Thanks for watching. Remember, this isn't one with the Fusion Fortress support. I just don't have the support right now. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Until next time, peace out.